2 days later. They still go out one after another these days. And the previous duty personnel who were beaten away didn't show up again, just as I observed from my daily window. Something changed. I saw chaos at the gate first. And then in a scream, a SUV rushed into the community. Someone tried to stop it, but was mercilessly run over. The SUV disappeared from my sight in an instant. Then someone went to the fallen person to try to save. Some tried to chase the car that hit people. Some people wandered around in a daze. More people ran towards the door and didn't know what to do, just as I was about to end my observation today. The people below suddenly started running in all directions. I took a closer look. I was horrified. I saw that the person who was originally injured, a person had somehow climbed onto his body. If you look closely, you will find that the person who was lying on him was not performing CPR, but eating. Seeing this scene, the people below were instantly terrified, screaming continuously, but the screams attracted more infected people. Somehow, more than 20 weird-looking infected people, strange-looking infected people. Their faces were green, and their limbs were stiff and twisted. Maybe they heard the screams, or the smell of blood stimulated them. They all went crazy, rushed towards the community like crazy. Some even climbed over the community fence, which is over 2 meters high, with spikes. I saw the infected who climbed over the guardrail, dragging the clothes that were slashed by the spikes, bleeding and biting the neck of the nearest person. Run, there are monsters. The person who shouted loudly in the crowd was tackled by the infected before he finished. Those who were not very agile became the first victims. The downstairs instantly became a bloody battlefield. I held the curtain tightly in my hand, trembling all over. A strong sense of suffocation gradually came to me. I suddenly came to my senses. I realized that I was so nervous that I forgot to breathe. I almost suffocated myself. I gasped for breath, and then rushed towards the door. I only had one thought in my mind: to block the door. I must not let these things in. As I approached the door, I heard a loud noise in the hallway. The sound of violent exercise. It seemed that someone had run into the building. Was it a survivor or an infected person? I opened the access control with trembling hands, but I need to see it with my own eyes. Because I know that the more unknown imagination can make people collapse. It's better to face it directly. The first person to appear on the screen was an unfamiliar man. He looked like me. He disappeared in a blink of an eye. He was fast. He should be fine. The second one surprised me. Was the man who pried the door last time. He ran up and stopped for a moment. I don't know what he thought of. He suddenly rushed over. He kicked my door with all his might. The iron security door made a harsh sound. Bang, damn it. Why didn't it ring? He kicked it fiercely again, and then continued to run upstairs cursing. Just then, the elevator came up. With a ding, the elevator door opened. What came out was, it was a zombie-infected person who was eating, and the dead old man on the opposite side. Maybe the sound of the security door attracted the infected. They swayed towards me, then turned and climbed upstairs. I watched them come towards me helplessly, and left a close-up HD image on the display. I thought if I could survive by chance, I would never forget this scene in my life. When the infected disappeared from the screen, I slowly breathed out. My heart was still beating loudly. It was loud, as if reminding me that I was still alive. I leaned against the wall and slowly slid down. It's terrifying. It's really terrifying. The infected are terrifying. And human hearts are even scarier. Then I realized the man's intention of kicking the door. He wanted my alarm to attract the infected, to buy more time to save himself. But what he didn't know was that the alarm was manually activated by me inside. It was not automatic at all, of course. They didn't know there was another me inside the door. He wanted to kick the door to save himself, but he didn't expect that it would slow him down, which wasted his time for self-rescue. As for whether he finally escaped, I don't know. I realized something later. How did he go upstairs? Isn't his home downstairs? I couldn't help muttering. He went downstairs to get tools last time. Unless his home is upstairs, then my house should not be the first one targeted. This person is not only a thief, but also a habitual offender. I was really in danger last time. Fortunately, I escaped. Fortunately, at this moment, I suddenly hope the infected can catch up with him. If he doesn't die, we might be in danger next. I know I have finally changed. Because the appearance of the infected is sudden. And the quarantine board had just been removed. And the personnel are loose. So the final result can be imagined. I looked out through the curtain. After one night, most of the people who were attacked had mutated. Except for those very scattered ones. Almost all the people who had fallen before stood up. What does this mean? This shows that the infection rate is very high. But after my observation all night, the speed of these infected people's mutations doesn't seem to be so fast. Some changed within 2 hours, while others took 5 or 6 hours. Due to the distance, I really couldn't see the situation underground. So the infected old man who was keen to knock on the door became my observation object. Yes, this old man has also mutated, although he was seriously injured. But the arm was more seriously injured. This morning, he still stood up tenaciously and started to knock on his own door slowly. Dong 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 dong. One by one. The sound is not loud, but it was enough to make people's hearts tremble. It seemed that every knock was on people's foreheads. Buzzing. So the wife knocked all morning. I watched the whole morning, from the initial panic to later self-abandonment, to now watching and thinking. They are obviously dead. What is the connection that makes them stand up again? What is it? And why does it keep knocking on its own door? Is it subconscious desire to go home? Or what else attracts him? Could it be the smell of the living? Why doesn't he knock on my door? Just when I was puzzled, the door across suddenly opened. The old lady came out, but her expression looked a little strange. Stop knocking, you blame me. And let you go down to show off, right? Then I'll come with you, okay? Well, before the old lady finished speaking, the old man suddenly pounced on her and bit her neck. And then red liquid sprayed all over the floor. The corridor fell silent again. This scene happened so suddenly, I could only tightly cover my mouth, for fear of screaming uncontrollably. After all, he died right in front of my eyes. It's really hard not to be scared. I stared at the screen tightly. I was terrified, but I didn't dare to look away. I was afraid that he would rush into my house and then bite my throat hard. I quietly watched this scene. I don't know how long it passed. My mother-in-law stopped moving. A grandpa stood up. He seemed to be a puppet of the target. After circling around the door a few times and staggered into the house, then I heard the dog's tragic cry. And then it was quiet. I don't know how long I've been watching at the door. I only remember watching since my mother-in-law left, until I saw the dead woman standing up again. Her current appearance, just like the infected who came out of the elevator. Her green skin has black raised blood vessels, and its eyes are also bulging, like fish eyes. The most bizarre thing is, there are scales-like things on her hands and face. Or maybe it's a pattern, which made it even more eerie. He got up, first walked a few steps in my direction, and then retreated in my terrified eyes. I don't know why he retreated. Maybe there was no target here, or there was something he didn't like. Anyway, he retreated, and then slowly entered his house. It's been here once. Can he still recognize his home? And still know how to go home? I really couldn't figure it out. Today is the 50th day of quarantine. If there is no accident. Today is the little New Year's Eve. It should be very lively and warm. My family has run out of vegetables. Even the chives leaves my mom planted on the balcony have been pulled out. Due to the lack of vegetable intake, I have started to get inflamed. And my gums start to bleed. I have no choice. I had to soak tea leaves in water to drink. And eat the leaves. I hope it will help. Due to the infection in the community last time, many people were infected. So there are more mutants wandering downstairs now. Although I don't want to admit it. But they are indeed zombies. If there is any difference from the zombies in movies, they are more terrifying. The terrible scenes in the movie are not allowed to be shown. But the reality is that hell is on Earth. Because of the cold weather, these zombies don't rot much. Looking down from above, they are all relatively intact. Because a few days ago, when I was observing zombies, I made eye contact with a zombie falling from upstairs. Although it was just a momentary eye contact, but the fear still gave me nightmares. This also made my original insomnia situation worse. I started losing my hair, and even tears flowed involuntarily. I knew I was sick. On the 55th day of quarantine, today is destined to be different, because I saw living people on the visible screen. I don't know what the residents of other buildings are like. But these people were the first living people. The first living people I've seen. I saw them walking down the stairs cautiously. And looked down. I wanted to warn them that there were zombies next door. But I didn't know how to warn them. Just as I was struggling with what to do, the zombie on the opposite door came out. Damn, there are still. The leading man. He cursed. And kicked the zombie that pounced on him. Only then did I realize that his leg was wrapped in tin. What are you waiting for? Let's go together. The man shouted at the people behind him. Just as they were about to swarm, another zombie pounced on him, before everyone could react, and bit the man's neck. Help me. The man struggled for help, while his accomplices took the opportunity to run upstairs. With a click, the man was completely silent. I watched all this quietly behind the door. I dare not make a sound, because I couldn't do anything. Maybe it was not going well. Or some other reason. In the next few days, I didn't see anyone again. But in the hallway outside my door, there was another zombie-infected person. Today is the Spring Festival, and the first day of the new year. Today, I made myself something delicious for the first time. After all, it's the new year. And after my observation during this period, I found the reason why zombies don't approach my door is the garbage at my door. Yes, because no one. My doorstep has become a garbage dump for the opposite. Although due to the cold weather, it didn't rot very badly. It still emits an unpleasant smell. To test my guess, I deliberately made some noise to attract their attention. Then I hung the snail rice noodles and the sour bamboo shoot juice through the crack. Sure enough, they moved further away. And even the noise didn't interest them. It turns out that they really hunt by smell. At this moment, I sincerely thank the people who threw garbage at my door. Although they can't feel it anymore. I cooked some ribs for myself. And then soaked a self-heating hot pot. And then I ate it beautifully. I was afraid of being discovered before. I didn't dare to eat this kind of food with strong smell. Now that I know how to avoid zombies, I can finally eat it. With these 3 zombies on this floor, normal people would not dare to come up. Invisibly, I have become an excellent safe place. Eating the hot meal. I sincerely appreciate the government, even in this situation, ensures the most basic daily needs of the people. Water, electricity, and gas are all sufficient. They haven't been cut off for any reason. It gives me the motivation to live. It's the 60th day of quarantine. Today I checked my remaining supplies. There's still half left. Because I have a small appetite. And intentional control. So there are still a lot left. Vegetables and fruits have long been gone. The only vegetable I can eat now is the scallion my mom planted before, but the leaves have been pulled out. There are 2 packs of instant noodles and 3 self-heating pots. The gifts I bought for my family before. There's half a dried chicken left. There's still a lot of frozen meat left, because I didn't dare to eat them before. There are also some odds and ends. Snacks, and a piece of, and half a bottle of sauce. I found a box of salted duck eggs. This is also a pleasant surprise. Looking at these things, I calculated that if I saved some, I can last for another 2 months. But I don't know what will happen after 2 months. The biggest problem bothering me now is not food, but hygiene products. Due to the special nature of girls, some things are essential. Before, in order not to be discovered, I cut them into pieces and flushed them down the toilet. Now the hardest thing is running out of sanitary napkins. I looked at the clothes in my closet. I finally took my summer skirts. Looking at the scraps in my hand, I don't know if they are useful, but there is no other way now. On the 70th day of quarantine, I saw living people again. These people were fully armed this time. They fought against the zombies, and finally kicked the zombie down the stairs. I saw them guarding the hallway with weapons, while others entered the opposite door, and came out with the materials they had found. It seemed they had found a lot. Then they focused on my house. I saw several people getting closer, kicking away the garbage under their feet, and then touched the door of my house. It seems that no one is at home. Let's go in and see if there's any food. Hurry up. If it weren't for the bite on the jar before, he was good at unlocking. I listened to their conversation. I trembled and pressed the alarm button. Alarm, alarm. Intruder alert. The familiar alarm sounded again. And a few curses. What the hell? What are you doing? Stop it. I don't know. Don't worry about it, run. The zombies are coming. Then they didn't care about opening the door anymore. They quickly disappeared at the entrance of the corridor. I deliberately waited a few seconds before turning it off. First, to act more like a zombie. And second, I needed zombies. When I saw zombies coming up, I breathed a sigh of relief. But then my face changed. The garbage at my door was kicked away. I don't know if it's psychological or something else. I always feel that the zombies upstairs seems to be consciously looking at my house. Some garbage that covered the smell was kicked out. There is not much garbage at the door now. The smell of the garbage is much weaker. For safety's sake, I found the pickled bamboo shoots I soaked before. This is my last bag of sour bamboo shoot seasoning. Open the pickled bamboo shoots. Heat and soak it in hot water. And slowly seep the water through the crack. Anyone who has eaten lucifin knows the power of sour bamboo shoots. And I bought the stinky version, with the addition of the smell of sour bamboo shoots. The zombies outside lost interest in my house again. But I know it's only temporary. When the smell dissipates, I'm still dangerous. The most urgent thing now is to find a new odor barrier. No way. Although the smell is strong, but it's easy to arouse suspicion. I can't use perfume until the last moment. Sorry. No, not even perfume. Not even mosquito repellent. After thinking about it, I thought of the frozen goods in the refrigerator. I found frozen fish. It said that rotten fish and shrimp. The fish must smell bad. I decided to do it. I defrosted the fish first, since I don't know how to cook. So I boiled some hot water. I put the fish in a warm place to ferment. I found some bottles and pour hot water to keep warm. It still doesn't work. The fish still doesn't go bad. Put the stinky fish to ferment. I came to the door again to check. Now the zombies that have been attracted have all limbs. I don't know if there are any on the other side. These zombies are both safe and dangerous to me, but also a hidden danger. Before thinking about the next step, I must be careful, careful, and careful. So after confirming the safety, I retreated to the bedroom. I stayed away from the door to reduce the smell. Now I dare not wear shoes when I walk. I wear as many pairs of socks as possible to reduce noise. I even drink less water and reduce the number of times I go to the toilet. After 3 days, the smell of pickled bamboo shoots dissipated, and the first knock came on my front door. The sound wasn't loud, as if it was knocking on my brain. Dong dong seems to say I found you. I suppressed my fear and opened the screen on the wall again.